Funds raised for fire survivors reached $3.4 billion. How the Wang Fuk court fire has taken an emotional toll on the neighbors. And Australian children suing the government in an attempt to get back onto social media. Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. The government on Wednesday said that a cash fund of $100,000 will be distributed to each Wang Fuk court household. Mimo Singhai reports.
In a press conference, the government said that the support fund for the Taipo fire victims have reached $3.4 billion. Apart from the government's contribution of $300 million, the remaining fund, $3.1 billion, came from public donation. Authorities said more than 1,600 households have received the separate living allowance of $100,000, a solidarity allowance of $200,000, and 50,000 funeral costs have been distributed to each of the more than 100 families of the deceased. Deputy Chief Secretary Chet Wing Hing said that authorities will not stop helping Wang Fuk court residents, adding that the government will continue to provide support where necessary. When asked about whether the government will implement similar measures to help future disaster victims, Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs Alice Mak said the Taipo fire is an exceptional case. Meanwhile, the Democratic Alliance for the Betterment and Progress of Hong Kong submitted a resettlement proposal to the government. The political party suggested 4 Taipo sites for reconstructing the complex, including the original location and Kwon Fuk Park. Moments 9, TVB News.
The government had earlier ordered the removal of all scaffolding nets. An industry representative said some construction tools and materials are still at the sites, which may pose danger to passers-by. Workers like to place cartons and construction supplies on scaffoldings. Chairman of the Hong Kong and Kowloon Bamboo Scaffolding Workers Union, Ho Ping Tak, said leaving objects uncovered at a height for long periods is dangerous. He said it would take up to a month for new nets to be mounted on scaffolds again. He worried the uncovered objects might fall due to strong winds, potentially striking and injuring passers-by. He suggested the authorities establish guidelines for proper placement of materials on scaffolding. Authorities on Wednesday continued to search at Wang Fuk Court. The deadly Taipo fire has killed 160 people and left many scarred individuals. Moses Ngai spoke to a few of them.
2 weeks after the devastating fire, the 7 burned-out buildings at Wang Fuk Court stand out from the rest of the surrounding area. Scaffolding and mesh dangled outside the blocks. Members of the Disaster Victim Identification Unit, or DVIU, arrived at the site. A concrete truck also drove into the site. Police on Tuesday said that the unit had completed the search for bodies in the areas around the buildings and under the collapsed scaffolding. Authorities said the next step is to remove the scaffolding and netting before the search continued. The calamity has left scars on many Hong Kongers, including those who live in Kwon Fuk Estate, the housing complex next to the fire scene. One resident said that she had been avoiding spending time in her neighborhood after the tragedy. Can you imagine how I feel? All my old friends are gone. I don't visit places that we used to hang out anymore. If I go out, I pick places outside the Kwon Fuk Estate area, such as Taipo Center and Kowloon, she said. Another resident said she could see Wang Fuk Court from her flat. I am still depressed. I did not go out of the house for a week because I did not want to, she explained. I fell to sleep for several nights at first, but the situation has improved a bit, this woman said.
Most of the people would be experiencing some immediate or acute stress reactions, such as sleeplessness, fear, worries, lots of unsettled emotions, and also we experience nightmares about the events.
The psychologist said that friends and family support will be helpful at times like this.
To accompany them through this process is important. You try to be an active listener that will be very helpful. You have to be very patient in listening to them, not interrupting them, and also not teaching them or lecturing them.
Numbers 9, TVB News.
In response to recent local cases of chikungunya, the Qingyi Nature Trail is temporarily closed for intensive mosquito control. The spraying of mosquito repellent and insecticide into the grass around the trail is expected to be completed in 7 to 10 days. The Center for Health Protection said mosquitoes have limited flight range and believes there is currently no risk of a community outbreak. While the entrances to the trail were cordoned off, some members of the public ignored it and still climbed over the barriers to go to the hills. The trail is about 4 kilometers long, and there are 3 residential estates in the housing area housing around 42,000 people. The Center of Health Protection reminds the public that it's best to wear light-colored long-sleeve clothing, as well as apply mosquito repellent to limit the chances of getting bitten. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has welcomed a world-first social media ban for children younger than 16 years old. The ban took effect Wednesday as families take back power from tech giants, but warned the implementation would be difficult. Australian teenagers took to social media for the last time to say farewell to their followers and mourn the loss of platforms that have shaped much of their lives. Tracy Furness has more.
Social media can be a bit overwhelming for all of us, but for our kids it can cause real harm. And that's why from this week we're banning social media accounts for those under 16. It will mean more time for children to learn, grow and just be kids, without algorithms getting in the way.
Speaking at an event at his official Sydney residence, Albanese called the ban one of the biggest social and cultural changes his country has faced.
This will make an enormous difference. It is one of the biggest social and cultural changes that our nation has faced. It's a profound reform which will continue to reverberate around the world in coming months to assist not just this generation but generations to come. It is about our families taking back control.
The ban legally bars children younger than 16 from holding accounts with social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube and TikTok. The platforms face fines of up to 49.5 million Australian dollars if they fail to take reasonable steps to remove the accounts. Sydney schoolboy Noah Jones, who turned 16 in August, is joining another 15-year-old as a plaintiff in a constitutional challenge to the law in the High Court.
I'm against this social media ban because as young Australians, we will be completely silenced and cut off from our country and the rest of the world with this ban. We've just grown up with this our entire lives, and now it's just being taken away from us all of a sudden. We wouldn't even know what else we could do.
I've always had very tight protocols because our family has been very open about the fact that while we love the modern age of technology and Noah engages social media in so many positive, wholesome ways, the things that Noah's generation learns, we dreamed of. We were so limited to libraries and single pages of encyclopedia.
Tracy Furness, TVB News.
The Thai military was seen evacuating an injured person by helicopter on Wednesday as fighting with Cambodian forces at the border continues. An Associated Press team in Surin heard frequent blasts from artillery positions as well as gunfire. It's not clear if the evacuated casualty was injured in the fighting. Meanwhile, Cambodians near the border took shelter in Siem Reap on Wednesday, huddling in tents and waiting to hear news of when they could return home. U.S. President Donald Trump, who helped negotiate the original peace plan between the two countries, again expressed confidence he can bring calm back to the region. Welcome back. The United States has thrown support for Japan in its dispute with China over Saturday's radar incident. This as the Chinese Navy released audio evidence showing their Japanese counterpart fully acknowledged the air drills conducted by the Liaoning carrier. The Foreign Ministry reiterated today that China's exercise fully complies with international law. Danny Zhou tells us more.
The radar lock-on in the seas east of the Miyako Strait last week was one of the most serious run-ins between the two militaries in years. The Chinese aircraft has been accused of directing a radar beam at Japanese military aircrafts near Okinawa Islands, a move that Tokyo blasted as dangerous. On Tuesday, a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department said in the first comment by the Trump administration on the row that China's actions were not conducive to regional peace and stability. He added, the US-Japan alliance is stronger and more united than ever. Our commitment to our ally Japan is unwavering, and we are in close contact on this and other issues. Speaking in Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun clarified China's exercise in relevant waters and airspace are in accordance with international law and practice. Our maneuvers are professional, standard and beyond reproach, Guo stated. To activate search radar during flight training is commonly done by carrier-based aircraft of all countries. He suggested that journalists ask the Japanese side why their jets come to those areas to deliberately harass China's normal exercise and stir up tensions. Social media account Yuan Tantian earlier released audio communications between a China Navy warship and a Japanese Self-Defense Forces aircraft.
This is China Navy Warship 101.
It reported an advance notice of the planned training was given by the Chinese side Saturday afternoon.
Chinese warship 101. This is Japan warship 116.
Nevertheless, the SDF aircraft still conducted close-in reconnaissance and disruptions, at one point inching less than 50 kilometers away. Sources say the Chinese jet also detected radar signals from Japanese aircraft but remained restrained. Japan's Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi refuted that their jets did not aim radar at Chinese aircraft.
Lithuania's government has declared a national emergency over security risks posed by weather balloons sent from Russia-allied Belarus that have violated its airspace in recent weeks. Lithuania's State Border Guard Service approached a balloon in its border region with Belarus. Here, a video was taken of a balloon landing. The balloons have forced Lithuania to repeatedly shut down its main airport, stranding thousands of people. In October, Lithuanian authorities closed 2 border crossings in response to airspace violations. The Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko denounced the border closures, calling the move a mad scam and part of a hybrid war against his country. The Shenzhou 21 space crew successfully completed their primary objective during their spacewalk, which was inspecting and photographing the viewport window of the Shenzhou 20 return capsule. That's according to the China Mainland Space Agency. 2 cracks were found in the window, likely caused by external impacts from space debris. As a result, the Shenzhou 20 did not meet the safety requirements for the astronauts' return and has remained in orbit. The spacewalk crew completed their assigned tasks after more than 8 hours, with assistance from the space station's robotic arm and ground-based research fellows. According to space experts, this is the first time the 2 manned spacecrafts have docked in the space station complex during a spacewalk, posing challenges for path planning and astronaut support at the work sites. Vehicles joining the southbound Travel for Guangdong vehicle scheme will be allowed to enter Hong Kong's urban areas starting from the 23rd of this month. The Transport Department began accepting applications from eligible private cars registered in Guangdong and has so far received more than 100 referrals from their mainland counterparts. Guangdong authorities recently announced the first batch of 1,700 lottery quotas. Those who won the draw began submitting applications yesterday. After preliminary vetting by mainland authorities, the information will be forwarded to Hong Kong's Transport Department for approval. Applicants must undergo vehicle inspection, purchase insurance and other procedures before Hong Kong authorities will issue an electronic permit and an approval letter. The 59th Hong Kong Brands and Products Expo will kick off at Victoria Park this Saturday and run until January 5th. Featuring over 900 exhibitors, the fair will roll out discounts on various products such as food, health items, and home appliances. There will also be special deals at $1. Holders of JoyU card or senior citizen cards can enjoy 5% discounts. Tickets cost $10, but entry is free for children under 1 meter tall, residents aged 65 or above, and the disabled. The organizers said part of the ticket revenue will be donated to support recovery work of the Tai Po fire. A symphony of lights will resume tonight over Victoria Harbour. It's been suspended since November 27th after the fatal fire in Tai Po. Meanwhile, the Winter Wonderland in Central and Statue Square reopens today. Also being showcased are Starlight Boulevard and Chater Road and the Immersive Light Show in Central, which will feature winter-themed icons through projections, LED animations, and lighting effects beamed across the facades of 8 iconic buildings. The Hong Kong Tourism Board said it hopes the spectacle will spread warmth, hope, and blessings to all. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.